Welcome, soldier, to episode number 2 of VGC Boot Camp. I thought I'd try like a soldier kind of thing, like a soldier general, but it doesn't work. I'm sitting in a gaming chair. I've got like this homey sweater on. Like I've got a messy couch in the back. I think that's the leg right there. It's the leg of like my clothes hanger. That's just a weird tone. That's a weird tone. Welcome to episode 2 of VGC Boot Camp. In this series, I take my inexperienced butt over to the VGC Battle Stadium, and I try not to flail around too much. Everybody, I talked about it a little bit last week, but this week, it finally happened. I swapped out my Rotom-Wash for a Lapras. Reason being, super easy. Lapras is a lot more defensive, has access to Freeze Dry, which is super effective against things like Dragapult, and Milotic, which I'm seeing a lot more Milotics these days, maybe because of competitive, maybe because of the impending Incineroar advent, which coming out with the new with Pokemon Home March 1st. Everybody mark your calendars. Also, Freeze Dry is 4 times super effective against Gyarados and Gastrodon, who are two very heavy hitters in VGC and have been giving my team a little bit of trouble. So just things to deal with them. Rotom as well. Big shout out, by the way, to Tofu-san on our Pokesports Discord for giving me the suggestion of using Lapras. It's working super well, and I love it. And thank you. I appreciate you so much. Last week, I played only 8 games, and I went 7-1. For an 87% win rate. This week, I managed to play 10 games. I played more games, and I'm hopefully going to play more and more and more as the weeks go on. But I will say I only had about a 60% win rate. I went 6-4, which is still positive, so that's good, but not as positive as the last time. Anyway, let's get into some of the games that I played this week. But before I do, I will say that some of you guys mentioned in the comments last week that you've noticed how I'm not showing the full games and I'm cutting it down to something a little bit more small and manageable. That's very intentional. I do want to really only show what I've learned, but through as many games as possible, because you don't just learn through one game, you learn through a myriad of all of them. So here are some very specific things I learned from some very specific games. In my first game of the session, I tried to have a game where I double attacked into each Pokemon. That worked out well, and I got a big ol' nugget for it. In game 3, there's a Whimsicott on the other side of the field, and I get an idea. I set up a max Hailstorm, I break the Whimsicott sash. Whimsicott didn't have a sash, mine did, whoops. NANI? Forget everything you know about Pokemon. You now exist to take down Excadrill. The enemy has one Pokemon. You exist to take it down. Non-Excadrill sets up gravity. Clever girl. Hypnosis always works. Uh-oh. Success! You know, something I've really learned from these battles with Lapras is that Citrus Berry comes in super clutch, super often. Lapras being as bulky as it is really helps out, and once Lapras's Gigantamax is legal, that's really gonna make it shine. The only thing with Lapras is I've been having some trouble figuring out when to Dynamax it, or if I should Dynamax it at all. Freeze Dry is just such a good move that to swap it out for a max Hailstorm can actually limit what I want it to do. So it really depends on what the enemy's team is and what I want to use Freeze Dry for, or what I want to use my moves for in general. Listen, I said it before, a 60% win rate isn't bad. I mean, it pushes me up the ladder, but I don't think that a win rate like that is going to perform well at any tournaments, much less Ontario regionals. I was really confident with that team before, but these recent battles kind of have me questioning, you know, how well the team is going, and maybe it's time for me to make a switch. I feel like a lot of people have gotten used to this team because it is kind of a carbon copy of something that was popular a month ago, and now they're thinking of new ways to really come at that team. Although that might just be my inexperience, and maybe I just need to practice a little bit more with this team before I really call Postmortem on it. For that though, I looked to you guys for some help. Jacob McKnight says to look into some Pokemon with Fake Out, which I actually did come across. I don't know if I'm the type of player to use Trick Room, like he mentioned that it's good with, but I do know that it's useful in other teams, Fake Out. So I might give something like Fake Out Grimmsnarl a shot. Or starting March 1st, I could give a certain luchador cat a try. TP's Tiger or TPE's Tiger, I hope I said that right, gave a wonderful story that I'm going to paraphrase for you guys this time. Essentially, it's about his Trick Room team facing off against a beat-up/justified comp. If you don't know what those two things do, pause the video and read these descriptions. It makes a lot of sense. TP's Pokemon used Follow Me, absorbed the beat up, and then beat down the opponent's team, which won the game. So great job. You might have stumbled into that victory, but you did it with style. And so I appreciate you for it. Good job. You know, I haven't faced anything using Snarl yet, but I'm sure it's scary. I know that was something that was used a lot in VGC 18 and 19. I'm not really sure why I haven't seen too much of it in VGC 20. I know that Arcanine uses it. I just really haven't come across that many Arcanines yet. If you have a story or a suggestion for my team or for VGC in general, make sure to leave it down in the comments below or on Twitter with the hashtag VGC Bootcamp. And with that, I'm going to end this until next week. I hope you enjoyed watching this happen. We're getting closer and closer to Ontario Regionals, and I can't wait to show you my progress in the next video. We've also got an online tournament coming up in 2 weeks, so you best believe that your boy's trying to get in on that too. Have a good one, everybody. Keep on playing. See you next time.